Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy James. I'm coming at y'all with another episode of the previewing and predicting series. And today, we're talking about the Indiana Pacers, a team that I like to talk about. I'm going to hopefully get to talk about them for a decent amount of time today because I have some things I do want to talk about. But before we get into that, I do just want to say if you guys at any point did enjoy the video, I would very much appreciate a like. The views and subscribers have done pretty well by me ever since starting the series, but it would be nice to get those likes at least a little more consistent. You don't have to, but if I did a good enough job, I did your team right, I would appreciate one. But other than that, I don't need to try to be a little bitch anymore. Um, so I do want to pop in and just talk about the pure top six. Um, and these guys, I don't know who they are. I guess they just Pacers. Daily Gee, there you go. He did it. But I actually agree with him, so I wanted to kind of talk about it and break down players a little bit. But for me, starting at the one, Tyrese Halliburton, and I love Tyrese Halliburton. And it's not even just an on the court thing, it's a mindset thing. I think what John Morant did in Memphis and how all these guys are playing with each other so well with his leadership, I think Tyrese is going to do that here. He's a very, very good leader. He had that attitude when he was on the Kings of, we're going to make the Kings cool again. We're going to end the drought. And to me, I love that. I'm a very big guy on you need good basketball culture. Um, and for me, I think he's the right guy. Just based play style, he reminds me a lot of like prime Kyle Lowry. I don't know if he'll ever be better than that or worse than that, but that's kind of my comparison for him. Good 3-point shooter, even though he's a more all around guy than Lowry, in my opinion. But I mean, in the last 26 games, 17.5, 9.6, 4.3, that's tough. That's your franchise guy right there. And I'd like to see it. And he's only 22. So, Tyrese Halliburton, stud, love him. Um, when it comes to Benedict Mathurin, I haven't watched a lot, but from what I have seen and from what I've heard, I really like his fit next to Halliburton. Super athletic, attacks the rim a lot. He can shoot the three ball pretty well, and with that athleticism comes some defensive impact. So I really like Mathurin. I think he fits in really good at the two, and I think you've got your backcourt of the future with Benedict and Halliburton. At the three, it's Buddy Hield. For me, I don't really know what you want to do with Buddy Hield. It seems like the Russell Westbrook swap is off the table. Um, excuse me. It seems like that Russell Westbrook swap is off the table. So for me, I think you kind of just let him do his thing. He's a vet. Um, just play it out. I think his inconsistencies come from situation. I think, like, let's say he gets traded to the Lakers. I think his consistency gets a lot better because he has a lot more to play for. I think, especially, when he got traded to the Pacers, I don't know what he shot, but I assume that, he was like, all right, fuck this. I just think his motivation isn't all quite there. Um, but yeah, for Buddy Hield, maybe you can get his trade value up. I'm not too sure. Jalen Smith coming in at the four. Another guy I don't know too much about because he didn't get a lot of playing time with the Suns, and then he did get playing time with the Pacers, but I was watching other games at the time. But the thing about Jalen Smith that really encourages me is I'm a big Rick Carlisle guy, and he signed. Well, I don't know if he signed, but he said that he signed on to be our starting power forward. And for him, maybe there's not a lot of other guys that compete for that spot, but for Rick Carlisle to be giving you that starting power forward spot, I like to see it. So from what I understand, this is going to be a good rebounding front court. But I don't know much about Jalen Smith offensively. I'm going to be honest. Um, and then getting into Miles Turner, I don't think Miles Turner gets the correct respect just because one, injuries are a thing, but also he had that weird front court with him and um, Sabonis. Now I get Smith can kind of be that same type of player, but I think in this situation, he can be the straight up center. I think Jalen Smith is going to be the three, even though the four. Even though Sabonis was always the four, they mixed a lot to me. I couldn't see when they were both on the floor. I couldn't tell who the center was. So I think Jalen Smith is going to be your four. Miles Turner. Let's just try to see what your offensive upside is. That's my thing. How high can we get? Like, what can we see out of Miles Turner offensively if he's the number two? And that's what I want to see. Um, and I hope that he plays well, but also he's a good safety net for um, Halliburton. And I think he can play really well off Halliburton. So for me, I'm on the part of. Actually, I'll talk about it more later, but that's my take on Miles Turner. Um, and then Chris Duarte is coming off the bench, and for me, I like Duarte a lot, but I don't see him as like a long term starter in the league unless he takes a big jump. But for me, I think guys, I like it when young guys can get set a role, and that role doesn't have to stay throughout their entire career, obviously. But I think sometimes guys just get thrown into a situation and say go. And with Duarte, he would know. All right, I've already got two guards in front of me. Let's just come off the bench, do our thing. If I can continue to develop, maybe I get in the starting lineup, or I can just be that six-man guy, come off, give you a punch of scoring. So for me, I like it. I like Duarte a lot, but I just think there's two guards ahead of him. Leave a veteran in there, and give him a role. Now, before I talk about the last two things I want to talk about, I just want to shout out a couple other guys on the roster. Um, that being Terry Taylor. Don't know much about him, but I did see some pretty good things from him. I liked Isaiah Jackson in spurts last year. He seemed like a really high energy guy, which I will always get behind. And I don't really know much about Kendall Brown and Nemhard. But I did hear that Kendall Brown was a good pick. I'm just not a big draft guy, but I really like the energy from Isaiah Simmons. Oh, Isaiah Jackson. Sorry. So that's if Isaiah Jackson continues to get better, Terry Taylor continues to get better. Either of these guards hit that they drafted, like you're looking pretty good early. So I like the Pacers a lot. And then I've got a couple of things. I just wanted to talk about the DeAndre Ayton sweepstakes because it was interesting to me. I understand why they were doing it. They wanted to build around Halliburton, and I think honestly, Ayton was probably the perfect guy to do it, and they wanted him to be a two and take an offensive leap. And I liked the contract at the time. Um, it obviously got matched, which sucked, but I liked the offer. Now it might have made you a little better because I do think those two actually would have worked really well. And also, you're handing a guy a max contract, so you're not going to have as much money. But for me, I liked it. I really wanted to see him go there. I thought him and Halliburton would have played great together. I just hope they wouldn't have made the play-in or anything because that's where it gets a problem. But for me, I liked it. It sucks that it got matched. They still have Miles Turner. And I just realized I don't really have anything open left for the things I wanted to talk about. But I do want to talk about Miles Turner real quick. I think they should extend him. Um, I just think he's a good safety net for Halliburton. And you also haven't given him the range yet. I want to, like I said, see his offensive upside. I want to see how, like, what can he go score 20? I don't think he can, but like, I don't feel like his offensive game is ever been fully shown because he's never really had the opportunity with um, Sabonis next to him. So I would like to see him stick around. It seems like he likes Indiana. Um, have him stick around, sign him to a deal. He's only 26, and even rebuilding teams can have talent. So I think they should go out and extend Miles Turner, and that's my opinion. And then also, I do just wanted to say this is probably the best young coach team in the league. Like, I might have teams like for me, I have the Magic making the play-in, which no one's gonna agree with me on, and I hope I'm right there. But with the Pacers, I don't think they're gonna be that good. They'll probably finish last in the East. But this is a very well coached team. It's a very well managed team from top to bottom. Um, and now the fact that they're going to actually go into the rebuild, I think this team is going to get good real quick because they did a lot of good things with limited assets um, many times. So I like to see that from a young team is that I know that their front office, I know that their coach, I know they're good at their jobs. And now they actually have the chance to full on, let's rebuild from the owner. Um, and yeah, so like I said, if you guys did enjoy, um, please leave a like. And for my projection, I would say like around that 35 win-ish team. Like I think this team is good. I just don't think they're ready, and I think they should be tanking. If that's for Victor or for someone else. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm still sick, so my words are kind of all over the place. But other than that, Lakers video tomorrow, and I'll see y'all for that.